is the Writer's Almanac for Friday. It's the 29th of April, 2022. It's the birthday of William Randolph Hearst, San Francisco, 1863. His father acquired the San Francisco Examiner as payment for a gambling debt, and his son took it over at the age of 23 and became famous for sensationalism, or as it was called, yellow journalism. One of his writers said a Hearst newspaper is like a screaming woman running down the street with her throat cut. In 1898, Hearst sent the artist Frederick Remington to Cuba to cover the war, and Remington wrote home, "There is no war, request to be recalled," and he was told, "You furnish the pictures, I'll furnish the war." And the Hearst newspapers did their best to promulgate what came to be called the Spanish-American War. It's the birthday of Duke Ellington, Washington, D.C., 1899, took piano lessons as a boy, but it wasn't until he heard ragtime and stride piano that he got interested in music. Duke Ellington said, "I never had much interest in the piano until I realized that every time I played, a girl would sit on the piano bench to my left and another to my right." It's the birthday of the poet Yusuf Komunyakaa, born in Bogalusa, Louisiana, 1947. Grew up in the South just as the Civil Rights Movement was gaining momentum in the late 60s. Went to Vietnam. He was in the U.S. Army as a journalist, editing the military newspaper. Came back from Vietnam and began writing poetry. He published his first two collections himself, and it was the third, Copacetic, 1984, that gained him some attention. And then a couple of years later, a collection of poems about his experience in Vietnam, Dien Kai Dao, which in Vietnamese means this crazy head, which included a poem about a visit to the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C., which ends, "Names shimmer on a woman's blouse, but when she walks away, the names stay on the wall. Brush strokes flash, a red bird's wings cutting across my stare. The sky, a plane in the sky. A white vet's image floats closer to me, then his pale eyes look through mine. I'm a window. He's lost his right arm inside the stone. In the black mirror, a woman's trying to erase names. No, she's brushing a boy's hair." Yusuf Komunyakaa, who said poetry is a kind of distilled insinuation. It's a way of expanding and talking around an idea or a question. Sometimes more actually gets said through such a technique than a full frontal assault. Here's a poem for today by Grace Paley, entitled "He Wanders." If this continues, the children may take him into their care lovingly, or hire a stranger with an American accent. He explains he must go back to a place he never saw before. He may have to go tomorrow. This is a mystery. The police will bring him home. They are not like the hooligans in that old country. Still, they are not hospitable. He waited patiently at the officer's desk. He was not offered even one small glass of vodka. The children didn't know what to do. The grandchildren say, "Grandpa, that's okay. Come and go. Why not come sometimes and sometimes go?" He Wanders, a poem by Grace Paley from Begin Again, collected poems published by Farrar, Straus and Giroux and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.